All right, just spinning up the live stream here, making sure that everything's working. This is just a test. I'm testing the mic levels and just want to make sure that we got things going properly here. Nice to see you this morning. Good morning. Thanks for tuning into a brand new live streaming edition of Adventuring Art. This is my office here. It's Weight Loss Wednesday, so I wanted to give just a brief little update, kind of talk about where things are at, and haven't been on YouTube, haven't really made a video or two in the last week or so. So I figured I'd give a little quick progress update, kind of let you know how things are turning out and kind of where I am at. And having said all that, let's go ahead and get things going. So yeah, let's go ahead and let me pull up I have a little agenda here. I'm hopefully somewhat prepared. All right. So let me see. Is anyone on the stream yet? Okay. I've got one viewer. Hello. Okay. So let's go ahead and start off with. Okay. So Weight Loss Wednesday. That's what today's topic is about. Just a really brief update. So let's just start with an update. So kind of rewinding the tape a little bit, kind of back to where things started. I started off weighing in at about 305 pounds. This was about a year and a half ago. COVID hit, kind of put a pause on my weight loss journey. And now today, as of today, I'm right at about 246. So that's, roughly 60 pounds. Kind of what I've been doing are really just kind of counting calories. It's really that simple. If your diet has to be so complicated that you gotta really just break it down and explain it in detail, and you have to follow some rigorous plan, then you might you might be doing the wrong thing, right? But it teaches its own. I guess the key point is that that you're doing something. If you're in a situation where you need to lose weight, get into better health, and living in North America, having the traditional American diet, that's something that I think we all have to be somewhat conscious of. So for me, that's kind of what I'm doing, is just basically just making sure that I'm monitoring my portions, watching calorie counts, and yeah. So let's talk about some scientific stuff. So what am I specifically working on here? I'm using a thing called the BMR. That stands for basal metabolic rate. Basically, what this is the number of calories required to keep your body functioning at rest. BMR also doesn't really take into account any type of exercise. So if you were let's just say if you were in a coma and you were laying down in your bed, there's a certain number of calories that you need to sustain you, just to keep you alive. That's your BMR. So once you kind of know what your BMR is, then any type of activity you do, such as getting up out of bed, right, going to use the restroom, going down a walk down the street, going to the gym, etc., all those kind of increase the amount of calories that you're burning throughout the day. And that leads into what's called your total daily energy expenditure, TDEE. The TDEE is an estimation of how many calories you burn per day when you're taking into all type of physical activity into account. I use some tools that kind of help guesstimate how much TDEE that I actually use. The one I use is on actually bodybuilding.com. It's called a TDE. If you just Google TDEE calculator, and I'll leave a link down in the description of this video. But yeah, if you check out the TDEE calculator, it will help you basically measure, it'll ask you, well, what does your day look like? Do you just sit in your chair all day? Are you in an office environment? Are you active like a teacher? Or are you doing, how many workouts are you doing a day, if any? And if you are, how rigorous or how difficult are the workouts? Is it hard to keep your breath? Or are you just taking it easy and you're really not working out very hard? So you start taking in all these factors into account, and then it kind of gives you a good estimation of how many additional calories are you burning on top of your BMR, the basal metabolic rate. And then with that, you take both those sets of numbers, calories I need to live, calories I use in surplus, with exercise, and what that basically kind of helps you know that what is your budget? How many calories do I have to actually have in my bank that I can use in a given day. To not gain weight, and then you start subtracting from that to figure out how many calories you need to start losing weight. So what I do is I use an app called MyFitnessPal, and I'm going to switch the window over to that. Let's switch that over here. Okay. So what this is we're looking at a preview of my MyFitnessPal page. You can see on the page that there's here we go. 2 hours ago, it shows that I weighed in and lost 1.8 pounds, getting close to that 60-pound mark. My goal for the day is to eat 2,001 calories. I guess it gave me a 1 because of my Apple Watch that I use uses a here, let me show you this. So I use the Apple Watch. It basically has like a calorie counter, step counter. I put it on this morning, then I immediately hooked it up on the charger. So I guess I burnt a calorie in all of that. But basically for me, my goal is to lose weight, right? So I have programmed that I put in my age, my weight, my height, my sex, and then I also put in, the goal of losing weight, right? So I can come in here to goals, and it will tell you kind of basically what you kind of have to work with here. Now there's some premium features. I don't do any of this. Like I listen here. I work out maybe 2 days a week currently, going maybe for a short little walk. If I'm lucky, I'm burning 420 calories on a given week. So it takes all those things into factors, and it spits out a number when it thinks like for me to hit my goals of weight loss, I can work with 2,000 calories. There are settings in here that I can modify and say like, I want to lose a pound a week. I want to lose a half pound a week. I want to lose 2 pounds a week. So based off of those, it's going to either increase or decrease my calorie intake. So at this point, this is my number. I work with 2,000 calories. And so what do I do from here? So basically what I do is I'll come in here to this food tab, and I will click add food. And now it will suggest some foods that I've been recently eating down here. Like I might have some frozen meals from Nighthawk, or some goldfish, or some beef jerky, or whatever. I'll just come in here and just list. So I'll just put in here lean cuisine. So let's just search for lean cuisine. Let's see if I can find a meal. All right, so let's just say I had the lean cuisine Swedish meatballs package, and I ate that for breakfast, which is kind of a weird breakfast. Once I click add food to diary, it tells me how many calories that it has, and then what the remaining balance is. So it's got 1,701 that I have left in the day. So it's sort of like budgeting. When if you open up a bank account and you want to know how much is left in your bank, I budget those calories in. So I'll do the same thing with lunch, dinner, and any snacks that are along the way. Now, I have my Apple Watch tied into this. There's a setting to integrate if you have a Fitbit or something like that, you could tie it in, which tracks your activity, and that'll basically slowly and steadily start bumping up your remaining calories. So like right now it shows 1,701 remaining. If I go on a 300 calorie walk, it would give me 300 additional calories that I can actually use. Now, me personally, I don't like to use that surplus very often. I like to just stick to that same amount. And this is just like starting out. Now, once you're like full on hardcore into your diet, you'll want to. Let me switch back over here. Okay, this is what I'm looking at. So I just put in, here you go. I didn't show my screen, I'm sorry. So yeah, I entered in lean cuisine, 300 calories, and then you can kind of see what's left, 1,701. So, but basically here we go, I'm back. So if you're just basically watching, the reason why I don't like to kind of refactor my calories, like allow those exercise calories to work, is because it helps me when I'm starting off, when I'm trying to get momentum, get things going. I need to find a way to keep me in check so that once I'm getting closer to my goal weight, which for me, it's right now, it's about 200 pounds. I was trying to get down to a lower body fat percentage. That'll be that. I know that's healthier for me. I know I feel better at that weight. I've been there before. And which leads me into my next topic, which is basically sustainability. could you do this thing forever? And basically, I'd like to say yes. I have at one point done this before in the past, and I chose to stop doing it just because I kind of tricked myself. I was like, well, maybe I've just reset my hormones and I'm burning calories like a wild man. That wasn't necessarily the case, and I started gaining weight back once I stopped counting my calories, and I thought I could just basically intuitively look at things and say, oh yeah, well, I'm work at one point I was working out in not in the construction industry, but I was working in like on the field IT work where I was out lifting a lot of heavy things, and so I got a little lax and I was less cognizant. And one thing that I've learned about myself is that I just know for me, I have to physically count everything. I got to count all the calories, all the food, everything that I'm consuming. So that's just something to be aware. You have to. I think there's a quote that says "Know thyself." Right. I know for me that I just have to be disciplined. Otherwise, I'll fall right off again. Now, but this isn't some like crazy meal plan that like you can only have these blank type of shakes. For me, what this is I can eat whatever I want to eat, just as long as I'm coming in under that balance of 2,000 calories, which is my goal. So again, this is something that, may not be for you. I know there's lots of diets, and basically they're all working on the same principle. It's the law of thermodynamics. If you consume more in than you're burning out, you're going to retain it, right? It's super simple. So that's where I'm that's kind of where I'm at. So what else do I do? So I'm counting everything. So I don't cheat. I just right now when I'm starting off, at least until I get to a healthier weight, and until I can start seeing the results and start really feeling better. When I'm saying not counting everything later on, so okay, let's say if I have a bowl of oatmeal, right? Every day I get that same bowl of oatmeal. I use a scale. So I have a scale. I put my bowl on this scale, and then I put a scoop of oatmeal in, and I zero out the scale with the bowl on, so I'm not counting in for the weight of the bowl. Add the oatmeal in after I've turned it on, and then it tells me how many grams. I look at the side of the oatmeal container. It tells me how many grams that it has. Now, when you do that over and over and over again, you start to see, what 32 grams of oatmeal looks like. It's half the bowl if I always use this bowl. So when I'm saying you don't have to necessarily intuitively count things, or you don't have to be as rigorous later on down the road, I think you'll eventually get there, because you'll start eating some of the same foods and how many calories are in that portion that you're serving yourself. So I think that's why it's important for me, at least, is to start counting up front, being very diligent in my counting, and start getting in that habit of just like knowing, okay, well, an apple's 73 calories. Okay, so I can have, out of 2,000 calories, how many apples is that a day? I can have 20 apples and still not gain a pound and actually lose a pound to a pound and a half. So that's basically the rough, rudimentary shell of how all this is working and how I'm able to sustain this weight loss and continue losing weight on this path. And I just wanted to invite you along on my journey with me. I call today's video, when I open it up, Weight Loss Wednesday. Oh yeah, one more thing. Weigh often. I like to weigh in often. I like to weigh in daily. But I don't let the daily number drive my emotions. What I do is I look at the spread of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 days in a week. I weigh in each day, and then I average those numbers together, and I get my weekly average. Then I repeat that the next week, and then I look at that first number from week 1, then that second number from week 2, and then that second number from third number from week 3, fourth number week 4. Right? You kind of go down that path, and then I go in there and I start seeing, am I trending downwards? Now, initially, if you're just starting off in your weight loss journey, then yes, you'll see lots of results right up front. I immediately cut out liquid calories. I was like, you know what? That's just such a waste, a throwaway of calories. That like drinking sodas or drinking a milkshake. A lot of these things don't fill you up. They're not really filling, and they're just empty calories, and then you're still hungry after you consume them. So I would rather use the calories that I'm consuming in on something that's satiating my hunger, right? Especially when you're starting off, So if you want a quick win, my suggestion is definitely to cut out the sodas. And then, for me, I switched to diet sodas. It says you right on the side of the can, 0 calories. Now, whether or not it's 0, maybe there's a few in there, but it's nowhere near the 200 that's in a typical can of like a can of Coke or Dr. Pepper or whatever. So cutting out the drinks and then weighing in frequently, using those average weekly weights, and then really just eating what I want to eat. It helps me to know, like on MyFitnessPal, I can go in there. Let me switch back over there real quick, and I can search for. So if I go to, let's see, add food. I'm kind of weird. I like McDonald's. So if I go to, let's just say McDonald's, and I say small fry. 230 calories, right? So you can find a lot of the chain restaurants are going to be in here. And even if you don't, let's just say if you just have some beef fajitas, right? It'll kind of give you an idea of how many grams, what beef. So it may be a good idea to start weighing things out at home, so you know what 112 grams of fajitas weigh, and because they're 110 calories. So when you go out, if you know what a 4-ounce fajita looks like, then you kind of can eyeball it and see when you're out and about and you're dining with friends and family of how much is the right portion that you have to maintain and keep your goals. All right, so let me switch back over here. Okay, so with that being said, so that's really basically it. I just wanted to give a quick and dirty update of how the weight loss and how things are going. I just wanted to share, kind of at least get you plugged in, kind of where I've been in this last week. I've been dealing with a lot of insurance claims on my vehicles. Fortunately, we have settled on all 4 of them, and now we've got the house next. But I should be getting back out there and doing a little bit more adventure videos and some product reviews. Those are coming up here in the near future. There is an issue with the truck. It's still in the shop. I won't be getting that back probably for another maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So it's just off in repair land, and I'm driving this rental car. I say that because I miss having my I've got my dash mounts for my cameras. I've got all the things, all my equipment, all my gear is in that truck. So it's a little hard to go out on these adventures without the pickup. So but that being said, that's it, my friends. I just wanted to invite you into a little insight into my world and share that with you. I thank you for tuning in to today's live stream. If you're watching this on the replay, I appreciate you tuning in. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe if you would to the channel. And it's great. I don't know how many more of these Weight Loss Wednesdays I'll do. Maybe once every other week or maybe once a month. I'm not going to commit to it yet, but I at least wanted to plug you in, get you give you an update. And again, thanks for tuning in. Hey, what'd you think of the microphone quality, by the way? I'm curious to see. Thumbs up if you like the mic quality, if you could hear me, and if you like this type of video. Also, thumbs up if you enjoyed The Office, if you think it's kind of cool. This is a new addition here. That's a little LED light panel. If you want to know more information about that, let me know in the comments. And it's great hearing from everybody. And thanks for tuning in today's video. We will catch you guys on the next adventure. Later, folks.